what's happening? I'm Bud Burke, and this is part 2 of our basic music theory. So in this lesson, we're going to go over the formula for building a minor scale, and then we'll see how that minor scale relates to the major scale. And then we will also learn the formula for building a minor chord and apply that to the minor scale. We'll do the scale in 3 different fingerings, which will then give us 3 fingerings for our chords, just like in the major scale video if you watch that. And then we'll also discuss the intervals that we're going to see in our new minor chord. All right, so let's get straight to it. Okay, so the first thing we need to learn is our minor scale. And I'm going to show this to you also in 3 fingerings. If you watched the building major chords video, then it's going to be just like that one, but now we're dealing with minor chords and coming from the minor scale. Okay, so I'm going to show this to you in A minor. So let me also say that the minor scale is derived from the major scale by starting that major scale on its 6th note. Okay, so if I was to do our A major scale, just for because of where it is on the guitar neck, it's nice and center. If I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is where our minor scale is going to start, and you just play the same thing, but just start and end on that note. Okay, so that's where the minor scale is coming from. And it also, being that it's starting on the 6th note, it's going to alter our scale building formula, which for the major scale was whole step, half step, whole step, half step. So the minor scale is whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step. So it's starting off on the last whole step, half step of that major scale formula. Hopefully you're following along with me here. It starts off with the last whole step, half step of that major scale formula, and then just keeps going on. So think about it. Okay, so we're going to do this in A minor. Okay, so we can already assume that this is the 6th note of some other major scale. Okay, I can tell you right now it's the 6th note of the C major scale, but we don't need to worry about that. Let's just learn the scale. Okay, so like I said, that formula was whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. Okay, not quite as catchy as the whole step, half step, whole step, half step for the major scale, but you gotta deal with it. Okay, so that's fingering number 1 for our minor scale. The characteristics of it: 3 notes, or this fingering. The characteristics of it: 3 notes on the low E string, 3 notes on the A string, 2 notes on the D string. Fingering 2. There's fingering number 2. 2 notes on the low E string, 3 on the A string, 3 on the D string. Okay, fingering number 3. Okay, there's our 3 fingerings. So now we just need to apply our chord building formula to these 3 fingerings. And that is still that same formula of using 1, 3, and 5, the 1st note, the 3rd note, and the 5th note. So this turns out to be, in comparison to the major scale, to be a 1, a flat 3, and a 5. And that flat 3, you don't really have to say it with this because our scale already contains a flatted 3rd. The major scale had the regular 3rd, and this one is 1 fret lower, so it's flat 3rd. Okay, so on fingering 1, 5th fret, our A note, be the 8th fret would be the 3rd note, and that would be our C note. Okay, so also if you watched the building major chords video, we learned the intervals that are being created when we do these chords. And this interval right here, going from 1 note to 3 frets higher on 1 string, is a minor 3rd. Okay. And then we'll skip the 4th note and take the 5th note. So we got from our root, minor 3rd above that, which is our C note. That's the 3rd of the chord. And then going from the 3rd to the 5th is our 2-string major 3rd. So the intervals are switched around on the minor chord versus the major chord, where this time it's a minor third and then a major third. Okay. And then the major third on one string, that interval is the distance of 4 frets. We'll see that in fingering number 2. Or one string minor third, major third, excuse me. Okay, so then going from the 5th to the root again, just like in the major chords, it is a perfect 4th. So starting on the root to the 3rd, starts off with a minor third. Going from 3rd to the 5th of the chord is a major third. And then going from the 5th to the octave higher of our root is a perfect 4th. So this is the 3rd interval that we'll associate with our minor chords. Minor third, major third, perfect 4th. Okay, so this interval on 2 strings, it's like you're just staying on the same fret, just go down a string. And this will be like that everywhere except when you're going from the G string to the B string. That's where it gets a little funky. But then also, just for your general knowledge, doing this interval on one string is the distance of 5 frets. Okay. So that makes our basic A minor triad. A, C, E, we're back to A again. Okay, let's do this in fingering number 2. So fingering 2, starting with my middle finger on the 5th fret. I'm going to take the A note, skip the B. This time we're going to have a 2-string minor third. So the 2-string minor third interval is going down 1 string and back 2 frets. Major third, just 1 lower than that. Okay, so there's our 2-string minor third. And then we'll skip the 4th note, the D, and we'll take the 5th note, which is the E. So that should be the 7th fret of your A string. So 5 of the low E, 3, and 7 of the A string. And there is our 1-string major third interval. Okay, then the octave is going to be the same as it was in fingering 1. Same location. So you see that 4th, I'm just doing that with my pinky there. 7th fret, down a string, 7th fret. Okay, and then let's do this in fingering 3. Fingering 3, start with our pinky on the 5th fret, and we will skip the B note, so that's the 2nd fret of our A string. Take that same C note we used in fingering 2, so you're using a 2-string minor third interval. Skip the D as usual, and then go straight to our 5th note. This time is going to be on the D string, be our 2nd fret. Oops. Okay, so this time we're using a 2-string minor third and then a 2-string major third, just stacked on top of each other. Okay, we're actually playing all 3 of these notes at the same time for once. That's why I'm showing this to you in 3 fingerings, so you get the different combos. And there's different things you can do with each of those fingerings, so now you know. Okay, so now going from the 5th to the root this time, the root's going to be on that G string, but it's still, just like the others, just going down 1 string, stay on the same fret. So that should be 2nd fret of your D string for the 5th, 2nd fret of your G string for the octave of the root. Okay, and there is your minor chord. All right, so that's the basics for building our minor scale and minor arpeggios. Hope you liked the video, hope you learned a lot, and you can use this info in your playing. Until the next video, take it easy and keep on jamming.